What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video, and today's topic is Aurelien Tchouameni, because Liverpool were pushing like crazy to sign him last summer and Liverpool is still more than interested in Tchouameni. Fabrizio pretty much confirmed that if Real Madrid decide to sell Tchouameni and they need to sell some players to fund the Kylian Mbappe transfer, which would cost them 150, maybe even 200 million pounds, then they have to sell one or two of their midfielders, and Liverpool have been linked with Valverde and Tchouameni. We will talk about both players, but first let's talk about Tchouameni, because Fabrizio said that Jurgen Klopp is still very keen on the player. He's a huge fan of Tchouameni. We wanted to sign him last summer, but in the end Tchouameni decided to go to Real Madrid. But Real Madrid have to raise some serious amounts of money if they want to sign Mbappe, and Mbappe is leaving Paris Saint-Germain, it looks like, because he only has 1 year left on his contract. He's not going to sign a new contract. The PSG owners gave an ultimatum to Mbappe that he has to leave if he doesn't sign a new contract. So things will start speeding up as we go deeper and deeper into the transfer window. And also today Dominic Szoboszlai and Alexis Mac Allister is training for the first time. They are training for the first time for Liverpool FC, so I'm really looking forward to the training videos. If you are excited about these videos, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new around here. Half of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel, so you never miss the latest updates on Liverpool FC. And Fabrizio was speaking on a podcast. He said for Tchouameni to go to Liverpool, it's going to be very complicated, because from what I'm hearing, and I quote Romano, Real Madrid consider Tchouameni a very important player for their project, but never say never in the market. At the moment it looks very difficult. Part of Real Madrid's plan is to have a very strong midfield for next season, but they already signed Arda Güler and also Jude Bellingham, so they have at the moment like 8 senior centre midfielders, and that's too many. They need to sell one or two of them. And Fabrizio said that when you say about the interest of Liverpool, this is more than interest, because 1 year ago Jurgen Klopp was pushing like crazy to try and sign Tchouameni. He called up the player many times, he tried to convince the player, and he was really close actually to convincing Aurelien Tchouameni to come to Liverpool. He tried his best, but in the end Tchouameni decided to go to Real Madrid because it was his dream since he was a little kid, his biggest dream in his life, and he considers Real Madrid the biggest club in the world. And I mean, you can't really argue with that, because Real Madrid is the biggest club in the world. The truth is, Jurgen Klopp really tried very hard to sign Tchouameni. Fabrizio continued, I think this is really difficult this summer for Liverpool, but never say never. So as long as there is a chance, Liverpool will keep pushing. And there have been reports of Real Madrid possibly giving thought to offers in the region of 80 million euros. They signed him for 100 million euros last summer, but Tchouameni, after starting off really well for Real Madrid, he fell off in the second half of the season. His form dropped and he was dropped from the team, and he was not starting as many games as in the first half of the season. So maybe Tchouameni will get upset because of that, and maybe Real Madrid think that we have to move on some players, and we already Real Madrid just extended the contract of Toni Kroos, Luka Modric, Ceballos. They just signed Arda Güler and Bellingham. They won't sell those 5 players. So who do they sell? Do they sell Federico Valverde, who had an absolutely amazing season, by far his best season at Real Madrid. Valverde scored 12 goals and got 7 assists in all competitions for Real Madrid, and in the previous 2 seasons he scored like 4 goals combined. So I don't think they are going to sell Valverde. Of course, Tchouameni won't be actively pushing to leave Real Madrid because it's his boyhood club and he has been there only 1 season, but it's easy to see why Jurgen Klopp wanted Tchouameni at Liverpool so desperately last year. He was outstanding for Monaco in the French league. He was Monaco's starting holding midfielder. His defensive statistics were incredible, and he chipped in with a few goals and assists. Fabinho struggled last season, and Bajcetic, of course, stepped stepped up, but he's only a kid. He's 18 years old. So imagine if instead of Romeo Lavia, Liverpool go all out and sign Tchouameni. That would be literally the perfect transfer window. Szoboszlai, McAllister and Tchouameni is such a dream midfield, and it will solve Liverpool's midfield for years to come. So I love it that Liverpool are interested in Tchouameni, but of course it depends on Real Madrid and whether they are willing to sell him. But they have to sell somebody if they want to sign Mbappe, and we know how obsessed the Real Madrid president Florentino Perez is with Mbappe. They tried, even they offered 200 million for Mbappe last summer, which Paris Saint-Germain crazily rejected. Neil Jones, a Liverpool-based journalist, also talked about our links to Valverde. Of course, Valverde has a crazy €1 billion release clause. That's 850 million pound release clause. Real Madrid don't really want to sell Valverde. As I said, he just had his best season ever. Real Madrid. Neil Jones said, if Real Madrid don't appreciate Valverde, then Liverpool aren't. If Liverpool don't appreciate Valverde, then Liverpool aren't doing their job properly, are they? I don't think there is any chance Liverpool are going to sign Valverde unless something massive was to happen in terms of 5 or 6 players leaving the club for 200 million pounds. He's a brilliant player. He has been huge for Real Madrid. I think he was probably their best player in the Champions League final against Liverpool. He was one of their key players in that run to the final. Neil Jones said, I would be amazed if Real Madrid were prepared to let him go at this stage, like Tchouameni and Camavinga, like the younger players who play in the forward areas, in Vinicius Junior and Rodrigo. I think Real Madrid are building a future that involves Valverde. It would be a nice one to dream about from a Liverpool perspective, and if you offered Liverpool the chance and said, Federico Valverde is out of work, he fancies playing for you, I think Liverpool would jump at it. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, Real Madrid probably don't want to sell any of their younger players, but they also gave just new contracts to Modric and Toni Kroos. And if they want to sign Mbappe, how can they come up with 200 million without selling some of their big players, younger players? I'm not sure what's the plan at Real Madrid, but Liverpool have to be open to any situation that might arise. And Dean Jones also confirmed that Liverpool have got the feelers out on 3, 4 or maybe even 5 midfielders, and it's not clear what avenue they are going to go down. Maybe even a centre-back is on Liverpool's radar. At the moment, Liverpool are keeping their options open, and they will see what kind of moves they can do in the transfer market. There are talks ongoing about Romeo Lavia. The problem for now is that it almost doesn't matter what the outcome of the talks between the club and Lavia are, because there's no agreement with Southampton. That's where the issue is going to lie with this deal. Potentially talks with the other clubs. The real problem Liverpool face is the price of the player and the price that Southampton want. And if Southampton are not budging from the £50 million transfer fee for Romeo Lavia, then I think Liverpool should work away from the deal. Lavia is not worth £50 million because it's not guaranteed that he will become a brilliant defensive midfielder. He's already very good. Then I said I would only do the deal if we manage to sell either Thiago or Henderson for a lot of money. I mean, minimum 25-30 million pounds. If we manage to sell either of them, then maybe Lavia for 50 million makes a lot more sense. Neil Jones also said about Colwill that he's clearly a player a lot of clubs would love to get from Chelsea. I think Pochettino is going to make a big play to keep Colwill. He's got some injuries, obviously. Benoit Badiashile got an injury at the back end of last season, and he's probably going to miss the start. They've got some players that have left the club. So there is potential for Chelsea to go down a different direction and put in some of the younger players. That's not just him. There is Lewis Hall, Reece James, players like that who have come through the Chelsea Academy. And there is a possibility that Chelsea make Colwill a central part. If they do, all bets are off in terms of a departure. If the conversation is you are 4th or 5th choice and he isn't happy with that, he won't sign a new contract, then he wants to leave, then Liverpool would love to be in that conversation. The question is obviously what price is it going to be? Chelsea have shown this summer with Mason Mount that they are willing to hold out and not sell at the first sign of trouble. I think they would be even more resolved to keep someone like Levi Colwill, because you don't get many players like him. You don't get many left-footed centre-backs, and you don't get many who come through your youth academy with as much potential as Colwill. He's already an England under-21 international. He already was called up before for the England senior team, and he could could be England's starting centre-back, maybe in the future. His star is very much on the rise at the moment. It would be a great deal for Liverpool to do, but I think it will be a very difficult one. Obviously, we know it will be a difficult one. Chelsea don't really want to sell that young player, but they already sold Mason Mount, Tammy Abraham, and so many other youth academy graduates, so it's not unthinkable. Cole will also leave Chelsea. He wants playing time, he wants guarantees that he will play a lot, and at Liverpool he will get more playing time than at Chelsea. Neil Jones also said this about Thiago: I think there is potential for Thiago to leave. There is a situation bubbling there that could come to a head if a good offer was to be received. The question is whether that offer will be received. Fabinho is untouchable at the moment. Jordan Henderson logically feels untouchable, but there are a lot of stories around him and Saudi Arabia bubbling away. Until you get a definitive answer there from the player or the club, it's hard to rule that sort of thing out. He's in decent shape and he's expected back at Liverpool on Tuesday with the rest of the international contingent of Liverpool. I think you are looking at those three. The amber will be Henderson, the green would be Thiago, and the red would be Fabinho, with more reliable reporting suggesting that a third midfielder signing may rest on Liverpool selling one of their midfielders, one of these mentioned players. Liverpool could be forced to make a difficult decision. I don't want Liverpool to sell either of these players. I just said if I had to choose which one I would sell out of Thiago, Henderson or Fabinho, I would choose Henderson, because he's the oldest, his form has declined the most throughout the last 1.5 years, and also he has the longest contract, I think, out of these three players. But of course, in an ideal world, Henderson rediscovers his great form just like Fabinho, and he has a stellar season and helps Liverpool a lot, but I have doubts about that. I have doubts that Henderson can still cut it at the very top level. We need a cover for Fabinho. Can Henderson be that cover? I'm not so sure if he can offer quality, backup for Fabinho. And Henderson many times said that he doesn't really like to play as a defensive midfielder anymore. He likes this box-to-box midfield role, but we already have McAllister and Szoboszlai for that role, alongside Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones, and other players as well. And of course, Henderson being the captain, being a leader, and being the absolute most important midfielder probably of the last 10 years, and especially of the Jurgen Klopp era, makes it extra difficult for Jurgen Klopp to decide to sell Henderson. But if that's the only way for us to get a defensive midfielder like Lavia or Tchouameni in, then I would consider selling Henderson. That's just my opinion. Henderson's game time is expected to be significantly reduced this season after Liverpool bought in McAllister and Szoboszlai. Jurgen Klopp is expected to add maybe even a third midfielder before the transfer window shuts. However, it has to be admired that Henderson wants to stay at Liverpool and fight for his place, and it would not be good for Jurgen Klopp's dressing room to lose two leaders in Milner and Henderson in the same transfer window, because the Daily Mail, who broke the story that Steven Gerrard's Saudi Arabia club wants to sign Henderson, they are breaking the same story, another story that Henderson doesn't want to leave Liverpool, he doesn't want to move to Saudi Arabia. There have been talks between Henderson's representatives and representatives of the Saudi Arabia club, but the Daily Mail is reporting that Henderson would be reluctant to join the Saudi Arabia side at this stage of his career. He still thinks that he can absolutely do it at the top level. He wants to stay at Liverpool. And if you are a top footballer like Henderson, and if you can decide to stay at Liverpool or move to Saudi Arabia, even at this stage of his career, Henderson thinks he can still offer a lot. Basically, going to Saudi Arabia would be like a mini retirement and just choosing money over everything else for Henderson. And he's not that kind of a player. Henderson has been involved in so many equality campaigns, and I would be absolutely amazed if he decided to go to Saudi Arabia, where there has been many very publicly reported human rights issues and everything else I don't really want to talk about in this video, but yeah, Jordan Henderson, if he has any morals, then he wouldn't really want to go to Saudi Arabia. Two Liverpool targets who have been linked, but not very seriously linked to Liverpool, Tchouameni and of course Julian Timber already went to Arsenal, and it looks like Tottenham are still considering Tchouameni as a top target, but no official bid yet. He's playing for Bayer Leverkusen, Xabi Alonso's current club. Talks will continue between Tottenham and Tchouameni. And Tottenham are also interested in Van de Ven, but doing a lot of research about Van de Ven is not really, I don't think he's good enough. He's not a top 6 Premier League club level, and it just shows that Tottenham are really shopping in a different market to Liverpool. They are shopping 2 levels or 1 level below what the likes of Arsenal, Man City and Chelsea consider as good enough transfer targets. So that's interesting, I think. And that's it for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching. See you later. Goodbye.